In 2019, Post Malone dropped a masterpiece known as Hollywood Bleeding. It's my second favorite album next to Damn by Kendrick Lamar. Post Malone is my second favorite artist next to Kendrick Lamar. But damn, this new album, we do need to talk. Hollywood Bleeding, it blew my mind when I first heard it. I played that thing so many times. The second I heard it, I was on repeat with every song. There's barely any skips on that album. They're actually all good. There's some songs that are just like, maybe okay, I can skip them sometimes, but they're still good songs because there's ones that I prefer to listen to more than others. Man put Travis Scott and Ozzy Osbourne on one track and that's incredible. Masterpiece. Hollywood Bleeding, the song itself, masterpiece. On the Road was a banger. Hit another one with The Baby. All the songs on that album was a masterpiece. Going back a little farther into 2018, oh damn, Beer Bottles and Bentley. What a summer that was. Probably my third favorite album ever. I'm gonna be honest. So many bangers on that. Oh god. I felt like Hollywood's Bleeding was a more dark album, but it was a cool dark album. Beer Bottles and Bentley was a more summer happy time album. There was something for everybody. All the songs on there were pretty unique and a banger, and I feel like those two albums, Hollywood Bleeding and Beer Bottles and Bentley, was really an innovation to Post Malone. He was really innovating in the pop genre. Then we go to Stoney. Stoney was like okay. There's a lot of songs that made Post Malone and why he blew up because of those songs. Songs like Go Flex, White Iverson, those are all classics. Oh yo, I Fall Apart. There's some other ones up there, but it wasn't really my favorite album. More of those songs before they came out, before the album, I fell in love with Post Malone's music, and I was like so hyped for Stoney, but Stoney was just okay. I didn't find it his best album, but holy shit, he blew it out of the park with Beer Bottles and Bentleys and Hollywood's Bleeding. Now, this new album, people are saying it's very dark, but I would say it's not dark like Hollywood's Bleeding. This is a more depressing, dark album. I honestly think this album's a misstep in Post Malone's career. I don't think this album is that good, but I'm gonna tell you guys why. We're gonna start off with track 1. Reputation. Reputation sounds like sad funeral music. It sounds like funeral music. The first song in the album is supposed to introduce you to what the album's gonna be about. And I feel like Reputation sets a really bad taste in your mouth. I personally was considering skipping the entire album because of this. This song was completely unlistened toable. Post Malone's a great singer on the album, but it's just like too boring. It's just like piano music, like a funeral. It sounds like funeral piano music. I did not like it, but it's also, if you read the lyrics, it's very depressing. Like Post Malone goes into this album like talking about how depressed he is about life. It's kind of crazy because he's at the top. He has like everything. He's like famous. There's a lot more to fame than I guess meets the eye. This song alone just really put a bad taste in my mouth for this album. I didn't like it at all. I'm gonna give this song an L. Like it's a skip, just skip it. It's just a very boring song. Track 2, Cooped Up. This song was one of the earlier releases for this album. It dropped the same day as Kendrick Lamar dropped his new project. This song was just kind of mid to me. I didn't really like it. I still stand by it. Like I found myself skipping it, but I can also listen to it once in a while. Like I can chill listening to it. It's not a horrible song, but I feel like Roddy Ricch on the album, Roddy Ricch just doesn't feel like he fits this song. He doesn't feel like he fits this album or the tone of this song. I feel like Post Malone's vocal performance on it is like good, but it's also like just very generic. I find the song like okay, I can listen to it sometimes, but I'm gonna have to give it a mid. Some people got an apple, some people got a tangerine. Track 3, Lemon Tree. Now this track, I did not like it at all when I first heard it. To be honest, I'm not a country fan, but it took a little while for it to actually grow on me. And I do gotta say, Post Malone really innovated on this song, and it's actually a banger. I actually with this song. I didn't expect it because I don't really like country music. I think what threw me off originally is when he started talking all of a sudden in like a southern Texas accent. I'm better. It sounded weird. It's like when you're talking to a foreigner person, they just start speaking another language out of nowhere. If that ever happens, I don't really touch grass much. Listen, I think this track is actually phenomenal, and it really picks up towards the middle where you start hearing the drums. It sounds really good. Post Malone's vocals are beautiful with the acoustic guitar in the background. Yo, he killed it on this track. It really picks up at the end where it just starts going all hype. This track is actually an absolute W. Finally, we start to see in this track where Post Malone did innovate. So this track is a W. Number 4, Wrapped Around Your Fingers. This sounds like the most generic Post Malone pop song ever. I swear to God, it sounds like a leftover from Beer Bottles and Bentleys. I did not like this. It's very repetitive. I wrap around your fingers. It sounds just very generic. I could see normies liking this. Me personally, it's always a skip. Post Malone singing on the track, good. It picks up towards the middle a little bit. It has a little bit of hype, but it's the same repetitive, wrapped around your fingers over and over again. It's just very generic, so I'm gonna have to give it an L.
Girl, I like you, I do. I wanna be a friend, go shopping in the Benz. I like you.
I Like You, a more happier song. I don't know why it says happier, because this song did not make me feel much more happy. It sounds like another leftover. Like, I don't know who keeps leaving their food in the fridge, but this song sounds like a Doja Cat throwaway. Like, Post Malone's trying to sound like Doja Cat. It sounds like something she had in an album, she couldn't fit it on. She's like, it sounds like all my other songs, so generic, and just gave it to Post Malone. He's like, I'll take it, because I don't have enough songs on this album. But the song overall, I'm not gonna say it's horrible, because it's not. It's not a trash song. It just sounds like, he's trying to sound like Doja Cat. This sounds very much like a Doja Cat song, and she does carry this song when it comes to her verse. Post Malone on this song sounds like a Discord moderator trying to simp to a 14-year-old girl who's actually a furry. Then Doja Cat in the song sounds like an OnlyFans girl trying to lead on her simps. Post Malone singing on the song, it picks up near the end and it actually sounds really good. But like I said, it just sounds like a generic Doja Cat song, not a horrible song. I can listen to it sometimes, but it's just not for me. And totally off topic, Doja Cat I would smash. She is pretty damn fine. I would not buy her OnlyFans though. No, I'm not gonna stoop to that low level. I ain't one of those simps. I just really feel like this is a Doja Cat song. Maybe Doja Cat's just not for me. Maybe Doja Cat fans will like it. But for me, personally, I'm gonna give it a mid. It's just an okay one.
You trip me up just to watch me fall. Smoke another cigarette, watch the last one down.
Track 6, I Cannot Be. This is actually my favorite track on the entire album. I have to say bravo to Post Malone, because he fucking killed this track. I don't know why it says a more sadder song, because this one made me feel happier than the other one. Honestly, like one of the most upbeat songs on this album, and it feels really good. The tone of the song, like what he's talking about in this, is basically what the song's about, is a girl who left him when things got tough. I think we all been through this situation. Yeah, fuck you, Margaret, you damn skank. I think these lyrics sum it up perfectly. You protect my heart, you'll be mine. Damn, that singing was so good, I'm probably gonna copyright it. I think that line just alone is really like the golden part of this track, and then it really picks up from there where he goes off on that verse. It's a very good song. Then we go to Gunna, who's caught up in a RICO case. This song is probably recorded before that, because I think he's in jail right now. Gunna, he doesn't really add anything too crazy to it. I don't have too much to say. Just a nice rap blend to the beautiful singing on the track. It's an overall really good song, and honestly my favorite. So I'm gonna throw this in a W.
Keep my cocky tight like a baby in a manger. When you go around me, she treat you like a stranger.
Track 7, Insane. This made me go insane because I had to rewrite my entire review, actually redo the whole entire video, because originally I thought this song was mid. I thought it was trash. But when I was listening to it when I was editing, I changed my mind completely. I think this song is an absolute banger. I think why I didn't like it at first is because Post Malone kept switching flows constantly, and it was kind of annoying. After a few listens, I gotta say the beat sounds really cool, and then there's parts where he just goes off out of nowhere where he does switch his flows, and it sounds really cool. I don't know particularly what was the reason that I didn't like it at first, but after a few listens, I gotta say it is a banger, and I gotta give it a W. Love/Hate Letter to Alcohol. This song is an absolute smash hit. When I first listened to Post Malone's album, as a casual listener, I did not like it. I found a lot of the songs just sounding too much like generic Post Malone, but this was the one song that stood out to me. Obviously, after re-listening to the album a bunch of times and giving my final opinions, I ended up falling in love with a lot of songs that I didn't particularly like at first, and then I ended up hating songs more than I did before. Now I do gotta say, this is one song that stuck with me to the end, and I love the verse on here where he's like, "You're the reason I got my ass kicked." He goes hard on this entire song. This song is the most different sounding song to everything else in the album. It has a really cool beat and really good singing to Post Malone and a very good message. I really like this song, and I think it's one of Post Malone's best pieces on this album, and I gotta say, it's another W.
This is like a private plane upon my ring. This is like the first time I bought a chain.
Number 9, Wasting Angels. Now this is a song I didn't particularly like at first. I think why I didn't like it because it sounded too much like an average pop song, maybe with the like you hear in like every pop song. It was the fact that it sounded like church music, but as I listened to it more and more, I thought it was a beautiful contrast to the last song, Love/Hate Letter to Alcohol. I would say that song's more darker, while this one's more upbeat and happy. Post Malone singing on the song is actually very good, and then Kid LAROI's verse obviously was like the bigger takeaway, and the hook, that was the thing that took me the longest to get used to. Once you get over it, it's a pretty good song.
I spit in
Number 10, Euthanasia. I can't do this. This is honestly the worst song in the album. I'm not even joking. This is the worst song I've heard. This song feels like a sequel to the intro song, but worse. The more I listen to this song, it can't grow on me, the more I despise it. I hate this song. If me and my entire family were captured by ISIS and I was forced to listen to this song, or they die, you already know the answer. No, seriously, I just don't like it. It's just slow, sad, depressing. And I really dislike the heart rate monitor you hear in the background with the constant beeping. I think it's a bad song. It's an L and a skip. Track 11, When I'm Alone. Now this is a more upbeat song. I actually do like it a lot more than Euthanasia. Anything's better than that song. This song, it sounds like something we heard before by Post Malone. I don't know what song particularly it sounds like, but it's not a bad song. I feel like it's an alright song. I found myself skipping it a lot, but it's not a horrible song. I can listen to it sometimes, so I'm just gonna throw in a mid.
I understand that I'm too weak.
I Lost Count, Waiting for a Miracle. Now this song, I was waiting for a miracle. That was this album, but turns out it wasn't a miracle. But I gotta say, this song, I don't know what to fucking say about it. I honestly don't like this song. It's a third part in this horrible trilogy of slow, depressing, sad songs. L, bad song, skip.
I got one coming away right now.
One right now. Now this was the original first song that we actually heard for this album. I thought Motley Crue was the first song on this album that was released, but apparently he actually never even made that part of an album. It's just a single standalone. Anyway, we got this song a few months ago. When I first heard it, and still I stand by this, it sounds like a Weeknd song. When I first saw it on his YouTube channel, I thought he accidentally uploaded the Weeknd song, because when I heard it, I was like, this sounds like a project from the Weeknd's album or something. The song itself is actually not that bad. I'm iffy about it. It just sounds too much like a Weeknd song. Nothing too special or makes it stand out. It has good singing from Post Malone, and the Weeknd's verse is pretty good too, but it sounds like all of the Weeknd's other work. It's an alright basic song. Nothing great about it, so we're just gonna give it a mid. No. This man put Euthanasia on his album twice? Okay, this one is not really a song. It's literally more of an interlude, so I can't really say too much about it, other than the fact it's Euthanasia reskinned, and I don't like Euthanasia. If anyone ever plays Euthanasia at my funeral when I turn 100 years old and die, holy shit, I'm coming back to life and punch you in the face. I'm gonna throw it in skip. Number 15, Waiting for Never. Now we're on to the deluxe part of the album. One more song after this. This is the first new one he added. He actually teased it the other day on Instagram. When I first heard it, I was like, it sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty solid. I'd like to hear that whole full song. When we got the full song, I'm like, this actually sounds like a banger, and it does. I would say it just sounds like a good song. It's a nice, upbeat Post Malone song. This song, Waiting for Never, is actually about waiting for a girl to change. What happens usually in relationships, you want someone to change, but they're just never gonna change. They're like a toxic person. The song itself has good hook. I wish he actually included this on the actual album. This is a pretty good song. I guess there wasn't a lot of good reviews or people liking this new album, so he's like, I have to throw something great on it. Though it doesn't really match the vibe of the album, but then again, the album doesn't really have a vibe. I'll get into that after. So this song is a W.
Love is fucking hateful, hateful.
This song is great. I actually really like this song. Another banger. It's like a rock type song. It doesn't feel like Hollywood Bleeding type rock. It just feels like its own rock rage type music, with the hook being
Love is fucking hateful, hateful.
I can't help but laugh every time I hear it, because I think Johnny Depp wrote this song to Amber Heard, because this literally sounds like the entire relationship. That's kind of weird, because Johnny Depp actually announced he's releasing an album, but this actually does sound like he wrote the song, gave it to Post Malone, and it's like directed at Amber Heard. You're just missing the part where Amber Heard's shit in his bed, but other than that, the song actually does sound pretty good, and I would say it's another standout song, and I'm gonna give it a W. Before I give my review score, just let me run down my verdict real quickly. Going into this album, listening to it, I didn't really like it particularly. I found it like one of the most boring, slow, generic type albums ever. After listening to the songs over and over again and getting used to them, letting them grow on me, I start to like them a little more. But I still feel as this is one of Post Malone's weakest projects and will probably be the most forgettable. It definitely is his worst project yet. It kind of feels more like a mixtape. I would say the first problem with it is the lack of direction. Hollywood's Bleeding had a more rock slash hip hop vibe to it, while Beer Bottles and Bentley had a more summer happy, upbeat vibe. Stoney, I would say, had a more hip hop slash country and pop vibe. That one was maybe a little all over the place, but it makes sense as his first album. But that wasn't really one of his top albums like Beer Bottles and Bentley was, and I would argue Hollywood's Bleeding is the best one. I would say this album is more all over the place and doesn't really have a vision or direction what it wants to be. I feel like it was used more as a tool for Post Malone to vent, as we get those slow, depressing piano songs that I actually never heard Post Malone do until this album, but I gotta say I don't like them. They're just really slow and depressing. Then we got a country song, then we get more pop songs like the Doja Cat song we had, the Kid LAROI one, and actually a lot of them were pop, I would say. It just seemed all over the place. Then my other biggest gripe with this album was the fact it just sounded too generic. That's literally the best way I can describe this album. It sounds so average pop. One minute he's ripping off Doja Cat, the next minute he's ripping off
The Weeknd.
Then it's even kind of Kid LAROI. And finally he even rips off himself, with a lot of these songs sounding too much like stuff we've heard from other albums. It sounds exactly like it's stuff ripped from other songs. I'm not even sure if some of these songs were just reused with the lyrics changed or a slight little difference. A lot of it just sounding uninspiring, uninteresting. Like I said, I feel like Post Malone's really venting on this album, and that's what he's using most of these songs as a tool for. As we can see, he's going through a lot of problems, and I mean big problems, like an alcohol addiction, possibly more drugs. You guys remember in 2020 when everybody thought he was demonically possessed? I really feel like this poor man's going through a lot of problems and no one's really there to help him, and he doesn't really have the same passion he did for making music as he's dealing with these other problems. Like he said in his first track, he's a superstar, he has to entertain us, even though he's going through these other problems and no one seems to be helping him. I really don't want to see this man end up like Juice WRLD. I really think he does need help. Frick this album shit. I literally rather see Post Malone get help and get these problems sorted out than come back and make music, because he's very talented and a great artist. It's just someone needs to help him with what he's going through right now. I know a lot of videos we see him all happy, laughing, but clearly even in the songs he talks about it. Behind the scenes, you don't know what someone's going through, and someone really needs to speak out to them and really show him some care. With that being said, I do feel like this album's gonna be the most forgettable Post Malone album. It's probably his weakest one. I won't be surprised if he put this together because the label was forcing him to put out something, as he hasn't in so long, and he just threw together a bunch of random stuff and was just like getting as many artists as he can just to try to make something that's okay. That's really what it feels like here. Overall, I'm gonna have to give this album a 6 out of 10. I feel like it's not really that great of an album, even though there's songs I did like and you guys saw me being positive towards it. But even if I was positive towards those songs, I still feel like they aren't some of Post Malone's best work. I feel like they're just good. There are good songs on this album, but I would never say they're as good as the high points that were in Hollywood's Bleeding, or even Beer Bottles and Bentleys, or even Stoney. Anyway, with that being said, thank you to everyone who did stick by. I worked really hard on this video. I hope you did like it and enjoy it. And please give me some feedback on what you guys want to see me review next, and some criticism too, because I need to get better at this. I'm new to this. So anyway, thank you for everyone who stuck around, and thank you guys for watching, and peace.